Big dreams and great aspirations are an important part of being happy. And yet, many times when we don't reach our dreams or we don't accomplish what we want, we can feel negative emotions. We can feel let down. We can feel like we had to settle for less. And over the past several videos, I've been talking about this gap between what is real and what is ideal. And I've been talking about that gap. Well, today I want to talk about what is ideal. What is ideal for you? I want you to think about, what are your dreams? What are your big dreams? What is it that you would have just loved to have accomplished by now? Or what would you like to accomplish in the next year, in the next 5 years? One of the questions I love to ask my clients is this: what would you like to be known for? Answer that for yourself. What would you like to be known for? That when it comes time to write the obituary, what are people going to write about you? So often in life, we lower our expectations and make a personal compromise because we can't live our dreams. And so what happens is that when we settle for less, we think less of ourselves. So today I want to talk about, how can you keep those dreams big? How can you live your dreams? Because so often when we share our big dreams with others, they tell us why we can't do it. And in fact, our brain has a natural resistance to change. And so we need to find a way to circumvent the brain's natural resistance to change. And so rather than lowering our dreams, rather than lowering our expectations, we can keep those dreams really big, we can keep those dreams really high, and yet proceed along a path that creates positive emotions instead of the negative emotions that we get when we make a personal compromise. And here's what I'd like to do. In order to make this point, I'd like to go back to high school. I'd like you to go back to high school. And I'd like you to think about that person in high school who had the best hair. Who was that guy in high school that had the best hair? And wherever I go, I have to tell you, in every audience, there's someone that can name that guy with his real name. They know exactly who he is. They can name him. Who is that guy for you that when he walked down the hall, the girls would just love to put their hands in his hair, and that all the girls loved his hair and all the guys were jealous and they hated his hair? Who was that guy in your high school that had the best hair like that? Well, believe it or not, when I was in high school, I was that guy. Everybody loved my hair. I had great hair. I would walk down the hall and the girls would hold back their hand, wanting to put their hands through my hair, and the guys hated it, but mostly they loved my hair and they wanted to have my hair too. Imagine growing up in Southern California, late 1970s, really long hair, parted in the middle. Everybody loved my hair except two people. Guess who those two people are that hated my hair? If you guessed my parents, you're absolutely right. I could come home with a straight A report card and they would say to me, "Hey, this is really good, but when are you going to cut your hair?" It was like I couldn't talk about anything without them saying, "When are you going to cut your hair?" Well, one summer, we were taking a family vacation. We were going to go to a family reunion 12 hours away, driving by car. And the minute I got into the car, it started up. "When are you going to cut your hair? I can't believe you're going to a family reunion with really long hair like that. People we haven't seen in 10 years are now going to see you and they're going to think you're some sort of surfer bum. It's going to be embarrassing. It's going to be embarrassing to the family." And I'm sitting in the back seat of the car saying, "Everybody loves my hair. Why would I cut it for you?" And yet, hour after hour, it's, "When are you going to cut your hair? We're not going to see those people for 10 years. That's all they're going to think of." So finally, I relented. And I said, "Okay, I'll cut my hair." So we get to the hotel. We check in. My dad looks up a salon nearby. He takes me there. And at the front door, I'm greeted by this beautiful woman. And she takes me in the back and she shampoos my hair in the sink, and I'm looking at her and she's looking at me, and I'm saying, man, if it was this good, why didn't I do it earlier? Well, anyway, she cuts my hair, she blows it dry, she hands me a mirror, and I look and I'm like, oh my gosh, what did you do to my hair? I can't believe you ruined my hair. And I looked at my dad, and he's laughing. He says, great haircut, son. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. So we go back to the hotel, and my brothers and sisters are there, and they open the door, and they're like, great haircut. That's funny. I was so traumatized, I ran into the bathroom, and I pulled my hair out, and I've been bald ever since. Now, did I have a bad haircut? What do you think? Did I have a bad haircut? Probably not, but there was a problem with my haircut. The problem with my haircut is that it was a big change. The change was so big that my brain couldn't comprehend it. And sometimes this happens to us when we have really big dreams, when we want to accomplish something really big. You see, this isn't about my haircut. This is about your dreams. This is about the dreams that you have put aside and settled for less because your brain tells you all the reasons why you can't do what you want to do. And so we step away from those dreams, we make a personal compromise, and we settle for less. And we live our life feeling those negative emotions associated with not living our dreams. Well, and it's not just our brain telling us that we can't do it. Everyone around us is telling us, well, you can't do that. How are you going to do that? Oh, only people who have an education can do that. Everybody tells us all the reasons why we can't do something. So we need to find a way to keep these dreams really big and yet circumvent the brain's natural resistance to change and also circumvent all those people that are going to tell us why we can't do something. And here's how I'd like you to do it. I want you to dream big. I want you to dream really big. And even now as I'm talking, I want you to think about what are your dreams, the dreams that you have put aside and forgotten. I want those to come back up because it's not about the size of the dream. It's how you think about the dream. So I want you to dream big and think small. And by think small, I want you to ask yourself small questions. I want you to think small thoughts. I want you to take small actions, and I want you to solve small problems. Think about what is the smallest, itty-bitty, tiny, littlest thing that you can do today towards your dream, and then do it. Now, I use this a lot with sales teams because a lot of sales teams don't like to make cold calls. Who does? And so if they have a goal of making 10 cold calls in a day, chances are their brain is just going to tell them all the reasons why they can't do it. And if they get rejected on the first call, it's going to be hard to make the next one. So I ask them to think small and think so small that really they're just going to make one cold call. And when they make one cold call, to think about making another. We've all heard the ancient Chinese proverb that says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with just one step. And it is so true. What is that first step that you're going to make today to realize your dream? See, that dream is the ideal part of what's real and what is ideal. I don't want you to shrink the ideal down to what's real. I want you to keep having something around the corner that you're looking forward to. But think about it differently. Think small. Ask yourself small questions. Think small thoughts. Take small actions and solve small problems. I can tell you this. Whatever problem you are experiencing right now, big problem, you are going to solve it by solving smaller, little, tinier problems. What are those problems? Think about those. Solve a small problem and you will help solve a big problem. For example, what if I were to invite you to do a marathon with me this weekend? Could you do it? I think you could. Now notice I didn't say run a marathon, and I didn't say finish a marathon in 3 hours. We could probably do a marathon if you think about the 2 most important steps in a marathon, and they are the first step and the last step. And what's in between? A lot of little steps. Now, it may take us all day to do it, but you could probably do it. Life is not meant to be a marathon. Life is meant to be enjoyed. I want you to enjoy it. Have those dreams. Have something to look forward to. But think about it differently so that you can really focus on the ideal, not just the gap between real and ideal. Dream big, think small. So over this next week, what I'd like you to do is think about those dreams that you have had, those dreams that you've had to compromise on, those dreams that are put somewhere in a closet. I want you to pull them out. I want you to think about them. I want you to feel that that is your ideal. And instead of looking at the gap between what is real and ideal, thinking that you're never going to get there, I want you to start thinking small about them. You can live your dreams. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be hard work, but what we're going to try and do is circumvent the brain's natural resistance to change, and we're going to circumvent everyone else who thinks that you can't do it, because I think you can. I think that you can live your dreams and be happy and feel how wonderful it is to have something to look forward to live your dreams. And it helps you be more optimistic about life. And it helps you face life's challenges better and different so that you can be happy regardless of what happens to you. No more personal compromises. Dream big, but think small about those dreams.